Hi, Becky.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very good, very good. Got Paul in the room as well. What sort of day have you had today? I've had a frustrating one with the daughter.
Oh no, why?
Because she's a lazy monkey that doesn't want to do any work.
Yeah, like that too.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, I get that. So I've just spent the day in the garden again.
Nice.
Doing lots of gardening and planting some
Lovely.
new plants.
Lovely. Chris has planted out quite a bit this morning, haven't you?
Oh, aye.
What have you planted?
Well, I'm not sure because all the labels are crossed off.
He's not sure what he's planted. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I don't know what a lot of things are either, so
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
So
I'm just checking someone's not in. So yeah, we're going right back to Flex 2. Ooh.
that's nothing new for me.
Yeah, no, I had to rewrite some of the notes because it just looked ancient. I just had to put a few more bits in and things. But it should be fun, nice little flow. And I'm looking forward to chill after that as well.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Well.
Wait. Let's just add Georgie Porge in. Georgie.
Oh, good.
Hey, Georgie. Oh, and Zoe too.
Hey.
Hey, Zoe. Hey, Georgie. Hey, Paul. Let's start a bit of live Insta.
Monday team. Ooh, that was a good crack. Mate, that was good.
Don't burn your shorts on that candle.
Candle.
Check and connection. Oh,
Candle.
it's not liking the connection.
Yeah, I've planted out hundreds of plants today, but when we did all the little sticks, we must have used water soluble marker, so they were all just blank. Like you couldn't even see a trace of the first letter. So I know I've got like peppers, aubergines, and tomatoes, but the biggest issue is the tomatoes because they are pruned differently depending if they're a little bush or a big lad, and I've no idea now, so I'm just going to not prune any of them, just let them all get big.
Yeah.
But never mind. If anyone wants salad, let me know.
Hi everyone, welcome. We've got Flex 2 coming up in a sec. We're just chatting to our Zoom room. Hey folks.
21 seconds.
But yeah, we'll be getting started shortly. So we're going right back to Flex number 2, back in early 2018.
Tunes on Spotify if you want them.
There you go, tunes are on Spotify if you'd like a listen, the links are all up there. So yeah, have a little search out for Flex 2 on the rise, and you'll get all of the good tunes. So yeah, what else we got to say? Sun's semi-shining-ish.
It's nice in the polytunnel.
Yeah. Hi.
Not much.
Hey Paul. We've got Paul E and Paul B. How you doing, folks?
Yeah, right.
Hi Georgie.
All the Pauls.
All the Pauls in the house. Awesome.
I think with social distancing, we can hopefully get 3-3-3-3. I think probably more likely 2-2-2-2.
Oh, there's going to be a rush for mats.
Yeah.
There might be a scrap.
I think this wall, but if we didn't have this wall, then we would be in trouble, because then you could only literally get two.
You could.
The wall is very much our friend.
Right, Chris, we've got 8 seconds. Do you want to mute the Zoom?
No, I don't need to mute anything. Don't mute anything now, we're done.
Welcome everyone, welcome to Flex 2. So when you're ready, come on down onto your mat. We're going to start in a lovely child's pose this evening, taking the fingers out long on your mat. If you've not been to Flex before, we're going to start up with a lovely little warm-up, and then we're going to get going in some nice plank. Not sure that those two words go together. Some nice planks and variations in plank. We've got a bit of balance work, a bit of lunge work, some hips and core, and then a fun wild card to have a little play around with as well. So welcome to your mat, welcome to your bodies, welcome to your practice. Bring the forehead down onto the floor when you're ready. Allow the arms to stretch out in front. Let the knees come down nice and wide on your mat, working out towards the long sides of the mat, letting the hips sink down towards the heels, and just settling yourself into your practice this evening with 5 nice big deep breaths. Drawing in lots of good stuff on that breath in, and then releasing a little bit of whatever comes out on that way out. I'm releasing a bit of frustration at my 12-year-old lack of interest in doing any work. So I'm very, very, very happy to be here on the mat this evening.
I'm very happy with it.
I am, as ever, I always am. So wherever your practice leads you this evening, just go with it, listen to your bodies, feel that flow, enjoy the practice. There's no point battling your way through anything this evening, just enjoy that flow, modify as you need to, and just have a big smile on your face the whole way through. So I reckon that's about 4 breaths. Let's take another breath in, full breath in through the nose, and a nice low release out through the mouth. So taking the weight into the hands here, we're going to press up into an all-fours pose and take the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. Okay, spread out those fingers for me. Take a little squeeze of the belly so you get that nice flat back and the crown of the head feels like it's lengthening towards the front edge of your mat. So you're feeling quite strong and just like a stable table in this pose. From here, we're going to use the pelvis to initiate our cat-cow flow. So as you inhale, lift the sit bones so you tilt the pelvis back, drop the belly, let the chest lift and press through. You can keep the gaze looking forwards just for this first few. Exhale when you're ready, rolling through the spine, tucking that imaginary tail between the legs. You might want to drop down with the heels towards the, hips towards the heels at this point, and then inhale, taking that scoot forward into your cow pose. So it's up to you. You can take a smaller or a larger movement through cat-cow flow, as long as it feels nice on the spine and you feel like you're really starting to loosen off a little bit. Keep pressing down through the knuckles as well, and if you can, as you come through with the chest, squeeze the upper arms in. Find that little bit of engagement through the shoulders here. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale, rounding through the spine from here. Find the little toesies, give them a tuck underneath, and let's scoop those sit bones nice and high, finding your way into a dog. Lots of knee bend if you feel like you're a little bit stiff this evening. You can pedal out the legs from there, lifting one heel then the other. Or if you're happy to settle into your dog, just pressing the heels down towards the earth, letting the spine lengthen out, letting the legs lengthen out, and maybe just externally rotating the shoulders as you squeeze the armpits and upper arms together. Let the head dangle down and just find a bit of space between the vertebrae, right at the top of the neck. So by hanging upside down like this, we're just allowing space to occur between the vertebrae and just releasing any tension that you might be feeling through the spine. If you feel like taking more of a wiggle out through the hips and a bit more of a sway, then if that's your bag, go for it. And then taking the gaze towards the hands, I want you to creep the toes forwards towards the fingertips. That's it, well done. Inhale. And exhale. Take a little release down into your forward fold. Again, bending the knees as much as you need to. From here, let's take a twist. So plant down with the left hand. So loads of knee bend to get that hand down if that's where you're at. And take an inhale and a sweep up with the right arm. So following the fingertips with the gaze. No, we're following the gaze. No, we're following fingertips. Gaze with the fingertips. Get it right, woman. Squeezing and lifting there. Just rotating through the spine as much as you feel comfortable with, and then exhaling to release down and swapping over. Right hand plants, inhale, sweep up with the left arm. So see if you can stack the left arm directly above the right if that's possible. Keep the knees nice and even so you're not jutting one out in front of the other. And then exhaling, coming down from there. Let's bend those knees and rise up tall. Reach up tall, reach. Fill the body with breath. Fancy taking a little back bend? Please do. Pressing the hips forwards and then keeping the hands at the heart center as we lower all the way down, bending the knees to soften. And from there, taking a big step back into your plank. Remember, you can come down onto the knees if you need to. That's cool. Just remember, we're taking the weight forwards. So take the weight forwards and then squeeze the elbows in and lower down into your low plank. Now just hover at the bottom here for me. Press the heels away and really feel that really strong chaturanga plank. So the glutes, the quads, The arms, the shoulders, everything's fired up here. So building up a little bit of heat in the body for another 3, 2, 1. Let's find a back bend. Inhale, lift up through the chest, upward facing dog. So we're stretching out through the front of the hips here. Let the hips melt down towards the ground. Maybe close the eyes. See if you can slide the shoulders down the back. Just spend a couple of breaths here in your upward facing dog, just melting those hips down. Little squeeze of the glutes here for 3, 2, and 1. Tuck the toes. Inhale, scoop the sit bones nice and high. And again, wiggle out in your down dog. Find strength, find space. All right. Okay, let's head into a 3-legged dog. We're going to do a few ankle rotations and then a bit of hip opening as well. So inhale the right foot high to start off with. Put the right big toe and the rest of the toes up towards the ceiling or the back of your space. And just start to rotate through that right ankle. So you can move one way and then maybe rotates the other way as well. Okay, from here we're going to work into the hips. So we're going to draw a big rainbow arc with that right big toe. So we're going to tap down behind us a bit like a curtsy. And then draw a big rainbow, bringing the right toe down onto the ground. Now try and keep the tension out of the shoulders here. So concentrate on releasing the head. Keep pressing down hard through the knuckles. We're going to take one more, then we'll swap onto the other side. So hopefully you're able to start bringing that left heel down. You could put something underneath the left heel if you wanted to. Okay, pop that right foot down for me. Inhale up with the left leg when you're ready. Adjust, make sure you feel stable. Just start with a few rotations one way through the ankle on the left side, and then working your way around in the opposite direction. And when you're ready, let's have a little go at that toe tap. So big arc shape that we're drawing with the toe working into the glutes and just working into the hips a little bit. We're going to take one more. It's also building strength, as you can probably feel, through the shoulders. Okay, fantastic. Bring the left foot back down in front of the right. Take the gaze forwards, and you can step, hop, walk the toes towards the fingers once more. Take a little bit of weight out the shoulders. Give the arms a bit of a wiggle out. Circle through the wrists if you need to. And find that nice flat back for me. Take the hands to the shins or the floor if you're feeling super open already. Take that lovely breath in. And exhale, releasing all the way down. Wherever all the way down means for you, it might still mean that you've got your hands on your shins. That's okay. You might have lots of knee bend here, but let the head dangle down, finding a bit of space. You can always take a bind around the backs of the legs or maybe interlock the hands and just allow yourself to let the chest melt towards the thighs. And you can do this with nice bent knees if you like to. Just for 3 more breaths. Enjoy being upside down. You might want to take a hold of the back of the heels. 2 more breaths. Maybe close the eyes. Just notice if you're feeling balanced this evening. So working into a little plank sequence next. I'm going to give you 2 options depending on what's going to work for you. First of all, let's bend those knees and rise up tall. So stretching out through the spine, through the body, reaching up nice and tall. As you let the gaze come forwards, I want you to think about stretching up with the right fingers. So you've got a slight reach, like you're climbing a ladder. Then the left side, and then the right side. So you're just taking a little lateral bend, nothing too fancy. That's it. Come back down through center. Take the hands to the heart. Inhale. And exhale down. We come all the way down to the floor. So I'm going to give you these 2 options. You're going to start off in a plank shape. Now you can take a tree plank. So it's up to you. You can take the left foot to the right ankle, the inner calf, or maybe up into your inside thigh. Okay, if that's not working for you, then just allow yourself to take maybe a bow variation, so taking the left hand onto the left ankle. So we're going to start off in a side plank. You can always drop the right knee down. You can always come onto the forearm. So tree side plank or bow or just any other side plank that you like. So working on squeezing and lifting through the hips here. That's amazing. Well done. Looking really good at home. Keep squeezing, keep lifting for another 5. Make sure that we've got that right arm stacked underneath the left. 3. Is that belly switched on? 2. And 1. Good. Bring yourself back through center, but keep that tree. If you've got a bow, just release the left foot and wrap it around that back right ankle. So you're either in a tree plank or you're in that three-legged plank. Either way, we're just going to hang out here. Hold it. Make sure the weight's moving forward still for 3. If you're in tree pose, see how much you can lift that knee off the floor. 2 and 1. If you fancy having a go at a press, let's lower elbows, scrape past the rib cage. Squeeze to lift. Have we got another couple? Yeah, we have. Lower down. And lift. 1 more. Well done. Doing a really good job. Lower down. And lift. Amazing. From there, we're going to take... Hey? Yeah, we're still there. From there, we're going to release the left foot. Find plank and swap over. So left hand grounds. Open out into your side plank. Any variation. I'm still going for tree. You can take a bow or a kneeling side plank if you want to take it down a level. So working into opening this top right hip if you can, and working into the waistline there as well. So holding there for 5. Find that breath. Find the strength through the pose. 4, 3, well done. 2, 1, see if you can keep the foot where it is as you come through, or maybe take a three-legged plank, wrapping the right heel around the left. Hold it there in your variation of this three-legged plank for 3. Well done. 2, 1. Have we got some more presses left in us? Yeah, we have. Lower down. And squeeze to lift. And a lower. And a lift. Nailing it, folks. Well done. Lower.
Strong.
And lift. Well done. Right foot comes back. Release into your down dog. Stretch out. Wiggle through the hips. Maybe starting to creep the toes forwards towards the fingers. Take a lovely halfway lift. Take that breath back on board. And exhale. Release down.
You put heaters on.
For 3, well done. Dangling out here, you can take a little interlock of the hands behind the back if that feels nice, or you can catch the elbows in the hands, maybe having a little sway round. For 3, and 2, and 1. Lovely. Bend the knees, inhale to rise up tall, reach good. All the way to the ceiling, the sky, whatever you've got above you. Maybe another little back bend, taking it a bit deeper this time. And then coming back down through center. All right, hands plant, step back. Let's find our dog. And let's work into a scorpion this time. So taking the right foot back into the air. We're aiming to stack the right hip on top of the left as you bend through that right knee. Perhaps looking underneath the right armpit, but try to avoid coming all the way into this left arm. So press down through the knuckles, make sure you're feeling nice and balanced, opening out there. Keeping, so you can get that left heel down towards the ground, stretching, reaching, find that beautiful twist through the waist for another 3, 2, and 1. Another strength builder here. We're going to drive that right knee forward towards the right wrist. From the right wrist, it's going to move over to the left wrist, and then the right wrist, and the left, and the right, and the left, and the right. Okay, little switches there from side to side for 5, 4, keep that length through the spine and the butt down. 3, 2, well done. 1, take a squeeze and a lift of that right leg, take a breath, and as you release that breath, bring that right foot between the hands. Coming down into a low lunge, dropping that left knee down, and taking a little rotation here. So you can keep that back knee down, or you can lift it. It's entirely up to you. As we pivot over towards the right hand side of the mat, so you can turn this right foot a quarter turn if it feels uncomfortable on the knee, taking the toes out to the long side. But you've come onto the back edge, the left edge of the left foot. We're taking the left arm out, right arm out behind us into this variation of a side lunge, a twisted lunge. So you can really feel this down the outside of the right hip. Opening out there, dropping the hips nice and low will make this a little bit more challenging. For 3, 2, 1. Good. Bring that right hand back down. It is strong on the wrist there. Are we ready? Three-legged dog once more. Drive up with that right foot. I've got myself all wonky on my mat. Feel free to adjust if you need to. And let's find wild thing. So kneeling is your option. You can always bring the left knee down. Rolling over through the hips as you bring the right foot down to the ground. Stretching through the front body. And lifting with the back there, firing up those glutes, maybe coming onto the tiptoes a little bit. Perfect, well done. For 3, 2, nice work, folks. And for 1, good. Bring that right hand back down. Okay, bit of work here. Going to build up that heart rate a little bit. We're going to take Shakti kicks. So again, keeping that right leg lifted, we're going to drive the right knee towards the nose. As you exhale, I want you to kick up with that right leg. That's a lever leg. So you want to get a little bit of air time underneath that left foot as well if you can. So make sure the hands are planted underneath the shoulders. Make sure the core is switched on. And we're feeling long through the torso. Keep kicking. Another 2. We're going to take the same with the other leg. So if this is not your lead leg and it feels a bit strange, don't worry, we'll take the other side as well. Well done. Find your way back to down dog. Settle the breath. Release those shoulders. Doing really well. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, second side. 3-legged dog, scorpion, then those lovely little switches. Inhale, left foot high. Press the right heel down. Open up with that top left hip if you can. Pop a gaze underneath the left armpit if you can, just to encourage yourself to roll that top hip over a bit more. So stacking left hip on right. 1 breath. Inhale. Exhale, let's drive forward. Left knee to the left wrist. So in that long plank position. Cross to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. Keep going. 5, 4, 3. Getting that metabolism fired up. 2. And for 1. Good. Shoot high with that left foot. Lift, point the left toes if you can. And then ripple over. Oh no, we've got lunge, haven't we? Pop the left foot between the hands. Right hand plant as we pivot towards the long left side of the mat now. So you can turn this front foot or you can keep it facing forwards. Coming onto the outside edge of the right foot. Again, really working into this left hip. Lifting the arm up into the air or maybe taking it back towards the back end of your mat. Dropping the hips down. Working hard into that right wrist as well. Hold it there. For another 3. Feels really nice. Just about here. 2. And 1. Good. Now take that left hand down underneath left shoulder. Kick up high with that left foot. Are we ready? This time we're taking Wild Thing. Inhale. Exhale. Over we go. Remember to bring the right knee down if you like. Arching. Lifting. Letting the heart float away towards the sky. Full breath in and out. For 3, 2, 1. Back to 3-legged dog. Left hand plants. Left leg reaches. Are we ready with those Shakti kicks? If you need to move the right foot forwards a bit, go ahead. Just make sure you've got that stable base through the hands. Driving the left knee in towards the nose. And then kicking up. Finding a bit of hang time perhaps. Finding a bit of space. Just enjoying being upside down and the challenge that it brings, balancing on the hands. 2 more. Final 1. Well done, perfect. Good job, everyone. Back to dog. Let's transition. Ripple and roll the weight forwards. Inhale. High plank. We what? Like a synchro diving team. Awesome. Exhale, low plank. Inhale, up dog. At university when I was studying to be a PE teacher, we did a synchronized swimming unit. It was amazing. Exhale, release back into your downward facing dog, and then slowly creeping the toes forwards, maybe trying to keep the legs a little bit straighter this time as we take a halfway lift. Inhale.
I thought you were about to say about that night we went out with Jason Statham.
Oh, exhale, fold, release, soft knees. Release and relax those hard-working shoulders. Maybe give the arms another little wiggle around. Maybe give the hips a little bit of a sway. 1 more breath. Well done, folks. Inhale. And exhale. Bend those knees. Inhale to rise. Exhale. Hands come down through the heart center. Don't worry, we're in crocodile pose next. Who'd have thought? Crocodile in flex. We were kind to you back in the old days, weren't we? All right, inhale. Carry on that release all the way down, bringing the hands to the floor. And then working into a little plankaroo. So hands on the shoulders, 3-legged plank once more. Up to you whether you keep the right toes pointed and lifted, whether you want to wrap them over the left ankle, totally up to you. From here we're going to take 3 presses. Inhale, weight comes forward, remember. Exhale, elbows in, right next to the rib cage. Press back up, 2 more, lower. And lift, and again. 1 more, lower. And lift. Pop the right foot down, lift up with the left. Remember, you can always bring that right knee down if you need that extra support. Remember, we don't want the hips piking up in the air somewhere. Get them down, make it hard, make it a challenge. Inhale, let's go. Lower down. Press back up. 2 more. Lower. And press. Good, 1 more. Lower. And press. Pop the left foot down. We're going to lower all the way down into crocodile. So crocodile, lovely, nice, relaxing, releasing pose. You're going to bring the left ear down towards the ground and release the arms out behind you. So you can always make a pillow with the hands if you prefer. I'm just going to create a bit of space between my mat and the mic so I don't swallow you all. So aiming to either bring the big toes together, let the heels drop out, or if you wanted to switch it the other way, bring the heels together, let the toes turn out. Nice reset for the spine, this one. Great if you have any sort of sciatica problems. Really nice restful pose, great for decreasing the blood pressure as well. So I'm going to take 3 more nice settling breaths in our crocodile pose. Have a little back bend, come back to crocodile on the other side. Oh, super yummy. 1 more, inhale. And exhale, good stuff. So a little baby cobra coming up. So release the tops of the feet to the mat, press up into the hands and just shimmy the left and right elbow underneath your shoulders. If you find that this is too much, you can always move them forwards a little bit and take more of a Sphinx pose. So with a baby cobra, with Sphinx, you've got your elbows down. If that's enough for you, that's fine. If you want to start pressing through the knuckles and lifting the elbows off the ground, just take it as far as you feel able to. Okay, so as you take your breath in, pressing in through the hands, and it might be that the arms will come to straight. If you find that's too easy, just walk the hands back a little bit, and as you bring the hands in, you're going to find that you need more of a flexibility through the spine to lift up. Don't forget you can release out of this if you find this particularly strong. Just give me another couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, coming all the way down, finding crocodile on the other side. So finding those pillows with the hands once more, or just dropping the right ear towards the ground. Again, have a little play around with the feet, see what feels nice. You can make it more engaging through the inner thighs if you've got the heels in and the toes turned out. You can really squeeze into the inner thighs there. Or you can make it super passive and restful. Either way is just perfect, whatever feels nice on your body. Just allow yourself 3 more breaths here, and then we're going to have a go at a bow pose. So another juicy little back bend. Slightly more challenging than the previous one. So we like to build up our poses in our flex sequence. 1 more breath. And then inhale, press into the hands. So you've got options here. You can take a single-sided bow where you've got one arm outstretched and you're reaching around for the foot and ankle on one side, or you can take both hands to both ankles or feet. Make sure that both knees are in line with the hips so your legs aren't out to the side edges of the mat. Just keep them in line with the hips. It doesn't matter how high up you go. I just want you to find the focus to the glutes and the lower back. Okay, inhale, start to squeeze, start to lift. Find somewhere which feels challenging for you, but it allows you to breathe, okay? So you don't want to be up there holding the breath. I want you to find that flow of breath, maybe starting to float the knees off the mat a little bit higher for another 3, 2, nice work, and 1, release down whenever you're ready. Take the hands under the shoulders, tuck those toes, let's go. Reverse that plank, back up into your full plank. Exhale to down dog and just stretch out through the spine after those back bends. Walk the toes forwards a little bit if you need to. Drop the head right down. Swing those hips around. Whatever feels nice. If you want to take the weight forwards to plank, drop the knees and then scoop your plank dog a few times just to release if your lower back is feeling a bit tight. And then we're going to make our way to the front of our mat once more and start with a little balance section. So however you want to get to the front of your mat, make your way forwards. Take a nice flat back. Inhale. And exhale, releasing all the way down, hanging down with the head. Full breath in and out for 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees, inhale to rise up, reach. And exhale, hands down to the heart center. So we're going to start off with tree pose. So spread out the toes, connects through the heel and all the way across the ball of the foot. You can take, just as with the side plank, the foot to the ankle, the inner calf, or the inner thigh, totally up to you. Focusing on balance, that concentration, but also working into this hip as well. So find your tree variation today. Looking good, well done. Deep full breaths in, relax those shoulders down the back. Finding focus here. For 3, you can extend the arms up nice and high if you want to. 2, keep those glutes engaged, so we're pressing the hips forwards. And 1, releasing into dancer now. So left hand comes onto the left foot, and you can have the hand on the outside. Or if you want to externally rotate the shoulder, bring the left hand onto the inside of your left foot, taking the right arm up for balance, and start to extend on your next breath, lifting the back leg to parallel. So you want the thigh to be parallel towards the floor. Really kicking the foot into that back hand will give you that stability that you need to stay upright. Keep the chest lifted if you can, so you both want the shoulders and the hips facing forwards here in your dancer pose. Nice big breath, well done. For 3, 2, we're going to take a runner's lunge next. And 1, so release, back, taking that left foot back, but keeping the heel lifted. So catching the balance, try not to wobble around too much. Front knee is over the front ankle. We're going to sweep the arms out behind us, but we're going to find strength through those arms, so firing up the triceps. As you imagine that thunderbolt of energy flying out the top of the head and way down through that back left heel. So squeezing in here. If you want to take a couple of breaths with me, I'm going to take an inhale, rise up with the arms, and an exhale, blow it away. A bit of Tai Chi. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to release. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. You can be Thor, or who is it who blasts them with the hands? Iron Man or something, I don't know. Taking the hands to heart center, let's take a little twist. Take a breath in and exhale. Left elbow outside of the right thigh. If that doesn't work for you, take the left hand down and take the right arm up, or maybe even drop down onto that back knee if you need to. So just as long as you're finding a rotation there through the spine, you could even hover the left knee, left elbow above the left thigh, right thigh, oh my goodness. Shoot me folks, shoot me. Okay, taking your way into that twist. Hold it, hold for 3, 2, 1. Good. Inhale, come back through center. Kick off forwards and see if you can take 1 giant step forwards. Plant down through the left foot. Find tree pose when you're ready. Right foot onto the left ankle, the inner calf, or all the way up. Breathing into your tree, maybe extending the arms, maybe closing the eyes if you're feeling super balanced. Think about those shoulders melting down the back, finding that lovely expanse, squeezing in through the belly a little bit for 3. Nice work. 2. And 1, dancer pose. Remember, right hand, right foot. We want to press the foot back into the hand. Taking that external rotation through the shoulders, you grab the instep, or you can take the hand onto the outside of the right foot if it bothers your elbow. So kicking back with that right knee, finding that lift, so squeezing the glute, squeezing the butt, lifting that left arm, enjoying this back bend, enjoying that stretch through the front body for 3. Nice work. 2. And for 1, release that right foot to the back of your mat. Catch your high lunge position. Squeeze those triceps, extend through the spine on that lovely diagonal, and just make sure that that left knee is right over that left ankle for me. Let's go with the Tai Chi breaths if you fancy. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, push away again. Inhale. Well done. Final time. Inhale. Press away. Lovely job. We're ready for that twist. Taking the hands back to heart center. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, reaching over. So remember, take right elbow out to the outside of the left thigh. You can hover it above, or you can take the right hand down, left arm reaches, maybe even dropping down onto that back knee. As long as the hips are pressing down towards the earth here, that is cool with me. I'm finding that little juicy rotation through the spine. Keeping the heart lifting up towards the ceiling, melting that left top shoulder away behind you. Well done. One more breath here. Feel strong in those legs in your twisted lunge. As you exhale, coming back into your center, and from there we're going to take a big giant step forwards. Let's go. Twist and lift. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, down we come all the way down, dangling down in our forward fold. So we're going to work into, see what time it is, into another little standing balance section. Not done this one for a long time. So let's see how we go. Bend the knees, inhale to rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands down through heart center. So we're going to start with a standing knee lift or a leg extension. Right foot's going to ground. When you're ready, see if you can float up with that left knee, maybe making a basket around the front of your left shin or around that knee. If you've got a leg extension in your practice and you want to take the bind behind the left thigh, go ahead. Or you might want to take one hand or two hands on this one. Or if you've got a tea towel to hand, you might want to hold on around that base, around the lifted foot.
Shout out to Zoe Lawrence, who's probably doing something.
Zoe will be doing something spectacular on this one. If you feel like you've got a bit more room, you can start to, just as you would in a forward fold, lengthen the chest towards the toes, okay? From there, you can keep working. So it's focusing on balance, starting to move the nose down towards the knee, but working into that length through the spine, trying to relax the shoulders down through the back. And if you're me, try not to eat the microphone. For 3. Standing splits next. Well done. 2. And for 1, release with control. Take the hands down to the floor, either side of that base foot, the right foot. Kick up high with the left toes and let the nose drop down towards the knee. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe have a play with taking the hands around the standing ankle. Just catching that balance if you can, but don't forget about that lifted leg. Let's see how high we can get those toes. Inhale. Exhale. Coming into standing half moon. Let that right hand move slightly further forwards, maybe onto a brick or something, a book or a cushion if you need it. We're going to take an open of that top hip. We're going to take the left hand to the left hip, finding strength in our standing leg, kicking up as high as we can through this top glute med as we open out into that arm stretch if possible. Don't worry if not quite there. So really looking to open the hips and the chest towards the left hand side of your mat. We're going to switch this around in a sec. We're going to take a revolved half moon where the left hand is down, but still working into that twist through the spine on that one. For 3, 2, 1, float down with the left hand. Again, grab a prop if you need to. Keep that left leg lifted as you open the other way this time. Right arm reaching. So a really juicy stretch into that right hamstring as well. You can gaze over towards the horizon or up to that top hand. Well done. For 3. And 2. And 1, float down with the right hand. Can we keep that back leg lifted? Can we float both hands behind us? And nail a warrior 3. Let the heel lift, let the toes come down towards the ground. Right leg is burning. You got this, guys. Keep stretching and reaching here for another 3, 2, nearly there. Don't swear at me. And 1, inhale to rise up. Yes, mate, well done. Give those legs a shake. Good stuff. Have a little wiggle out. Are we ready for the second side? Grounding down through the left foot this time. Catch that balance, catch the breath. Draw the right knee up. Make a little basket, stand tall. And if you want to stay here, that's fine. If you want to hold on to a wall, that's fine. Just want you to find a nice long spine to start off with. If you've got the bind behind the back of the thigh, or just maybe just one leg, arm on the extension, but if you can, see if you can find a double-handed extension, even if it's around a strap or around a tea towel. But think about length through the spine, heart moving towards the toes as you extend forwards, making your way towards some sort of forward fold in this balanced position. Releasing the shoulders down the back. Well done. For 3, 2, keep going. And for 1, with control, release that right foot out behind you and up into the air as the hands come down next to that standing leg. Standing splits, nose to knee. Kick up as high as you can. Really tough one on the hamstrings here and into the balance. Maybe catching a hold around your left ankle this time if that is an option for you. Remember, we've got standing half moon, and then reverse as well as straight into warrior three. We're going to eat up this pain. Are you ready? Left hand down, inhale, open out with that right hip stacking on top of the left, right hand onto the right hip if you can, hold it there if you need to, maybe extend away and lift up through your right arm. See if you can straighten out that base leg a little bit, kick up a bit high with that top leg, stretch and reach 4 different directions for 3, doing amazing, 2, 1, switch it round, right hand to the floor, keep that back leg lifted, open out towards the left hand side of your mat, taking your left arm nice and high. Again, see if you can stretch out a bit through that base leg. Inhale, don't forget to breathe, I know it's challenging. 2, and 1, straight into warrior 3 if you can. Don't feel bad if you have to put your foot down. Taking the hands out behind you, find that lovely long, strong capital T shape for 3, 2, and 1. Take the hands down, bring the right foot to meet left, and then taking a big step back into your plank. Take the weight forward, inhale, exhale, low down, low plank. I'm going to let you have a juicy pigeon pose next. Inhale, lift up through the chest, and rolling back into your down dog. Well done. Here comes a nice, lovely hip opening stretch. Inhale, right foot high. Exhale, right knee behind the right wrist. Bringing the front shin as parallel as you feel able to the front short side of your mat. Snuggle those hips down. Make sure you're feeling balanced. If you feel like you've got a bit of a roll onto one side, you can always bolster yourself under the right butt cheek with a block or a cushion. That's it. Working into lifting up the chest a little bit here. If your preference is to come down into a sleeping pigeon, then you can come down onto the forearms or maybe relaxing the chest and the forehead all the way down. I'm quite enjoying this lifted chest pigeon pose. Deep breath in, relax the shoulders and relax that face. For 3, nice work. 2,
Someone getting attacked by a dog.
someone's getting attacked by a dog, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
For 1, well done. Drop down onto your right side and sweep around with that left leg. Now extend your right leg out to join it, and we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. So I always think if you just lift up a little bit and replace the sit bones, it gives you that anterior tilt to the pelvis to allow you to move forwards a little bit more. So keeping the toes flexed, it's no pressure to come down particularly far. Just want you to feel like you're working into that flexion at the hip. So take a breath in. Exhale, start to creep the hands forwards. You can use the floor as a bit of a purchase. You might want to hold on around the base of the feet, but just think about keeping the spine nice and long.
I like to use against the sofa because you can hold it.
Yeah, if you could, good one for working with somebody else on this one. If you can hold on to something or another person's hand, if you go feet to feet, it's quite a good one. Really helps you just work into this lower back space and into the groin there. See what time we're on. All right, 1 breath. Inhale. And exhale. Well done. Plant the hands down by the bum and see if we can reverse this plank. So we inhale, squeeze and lift. Come up, bring it up through the hips. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze for 3. Well done, everyone. 2. And 1. Drop the seat down. Fold the legs in front of you. If you want to come into pigeon on the other side from seated, that's it. Go ahead, take the left leg forwards. I like to stretch back into dog and then take a lift of the left leg, driving forwards with the left knee behind the left wrist, and again sliding back with the right leg. You might want to have a quick glance over your right shoulder just to check that it's in line, but keep this left foot flexed as much as you can. And again, working down to sleeping pigeon or just holding this lift up here, and that nice stretch through the front of the hips, making sure that we're not rolling from one side to the next. Again, if you want to bolster yourself underneath that left hip, feel free if you're not all the way down like me. 2 more full breaths. That's it, 1 more. And then release releasing onto your left side when you can, taking a sweep round with your right leg and then extending through your left leg. This time, taking another little forward fold. Deep breath in and exhale again. See if we find a bit more space this time. Can we creep those fingers a bit further forwards than we did last time? Keep that length moving through the full spine. Imagine somebody's pulling you forwards from the crown of the head on this one and pressing your sit bones away towards the back edge of your mat. 2 more breaths here. Well done. Nice little slow down and relax before we hit our wild card. Here we go. Inhale, rise on up. All right, so our wild card today is a flying split. I'm going to teach you how to get into this from a down dog. So feel free to bring the legs in, rolling onto the hands and finding a down dog. So it's a very lady-like position. We're going to take a peeing dog. Okay, so we're going to take a lift of that left leg and we're going to float the left knee forwards as if you were taking a half crow. Okay, so the left knee comes onto the upper arm above the elbow, and with the right elbow, we're going to just tuck it down into that bony section of the hip. So if you can tuck it into the soft space, you can then start to float the weight forwards, taking that back foot off the ground and taking the left foot out to the side. So you can keep looking forwards. If you look down, you're going to fall down. So try and extend the way through the legs. So we've done loads of work into the hamstrings, lots of work into the wrists, so this should be reasonably okay. It is just like when you're learning crow. So try it on the other side as well. So lifting up with the right foot. I have to think about that then. Exhaling your way forwards, coming upon high onto the right arm above the elbow, and then slowly taking the weight down onto that left elbow. So the upper arm is acting like a shelf, taking the weight forwards, maybe floating that back foot off. Don't worry about extending this leg out to the side at the moment. Just hover. And then when you feel able to take that stretch out, start to point the big toes and stretch, stretch, stretch. Well done. So enjoy that little practice, that little play around.
Oh, I did.
You did? Good, good, good. Chris got a right dab on. All right, folks, well done. Come on down onto your backs. Let's draw the knees in. Let's take the legs up into the air, and let's just take a little scissor down with the legs, connecting the lower back into the floor, and lifting all the way back up, and lowering all the way back down again, and lifting all the way back up, and lowering all the way back down. Just holding the feet at the bottom. Remember, you can have your knees bent on this one if you need to. Lifting the fingers up, just holding there for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Get those shoulders nice and high. 2, and 1. Release down. Well done. Draw the knees in. Give yourself a rock and roll from side to side. Taking a little happy baby. Peace sign fingers around the big toes or around the outside edge of the feet. Soles of the feet to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Draw the knees down towards the shoulders. Staying perfectly still and just seeing if you can feel equally as balanced on both sides. Letting both shoulders relax. And letting the hips relax. Nice little stretch into the groin. Or you might want to rock and roll from side to side. Just using the abs to stop you from rolling too far over. Any other little stretches you want to take, feel free to do that now before you collapse into your Shavasana. Any comfortable position in Shavasana, recline butterfly like me or corpse pose. Breathing into the body, allowing yourself a little congratulatory clap inside your head. Well done for committing to your practice this evening. Well done for coming to join us at Rise. It'd be lovely to practice with you all. Taking those breaths that we need to continue in this crazy time. Hopefully you're feeling a bit stronger and have reset yourself through tonight's practice. Give yourself another breath in and out. And if you want a little bit more relaxation, we've got chill coming up next, but for now, let's draw the knees together or bring the knees to the chest, hug in there, take a little rock and roll, and find your way up to seated in any fashion that you feel able to. Just stacking the spine, maybe Sitting up as tall as you possibly can. If you want to sit on something to do that, go ahead. Let's take one final breath together. Big breath in through the mouth. And another release through the mouth. Bringing the hands to heart center. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great rest of your Monday night, and I shall see you all soon. Take care.